This conference will now be recorded.
All right. So the only thing that matters is the order and the bullet points. That's the only thing that's going to matter in your presentation. Now, what I've done is take the worksheet on the right-hand side. And if you guys will see on the left-hand side, when it says worksheet, smoker, non-smoker, I just put the worksheet in the same order of the bullet points. So as a brand new agent, you guys have all been in the field and blank out trying to figure out what am I supposed to say next? Instead of blanking out, if you'll just take the worksheet in with you, build some rapport in the beginning, and then once you get into the worksheet, just follow the worksheet down. The worksheet will bring you right through the presentation and keep your presentation pretty much efficient, because if not, you'll always forget to go over something. You always forget to add something. I promise you, whatever you forget to ask in the beginning of the presentation will come back to haunt you at the end. You know, you forget to ask them if they have a checking account in the beginning of the presentation. You do a whole presentation and they want the gold package, $80 a month, if they don't have a checking account. Whatever you forget in the beginning will haunt you at the end, I promise. So this will keep you in order. All right. So in the beginning, just first few are pretty basic, right? Everybody knows no matter what presentation you're doing, you got to build rapport, right? You got to build rapport. And rapport here is very simple. Make a friend. Get in there, relax, kick your feet up on the table, and make a friend and be a normal person in their home. Talk about the weather, talk about, are you from the area? Here's where I'm from. What did I do before the business? I was a car mechanic, and, I've been doing this now for 12 years, blah, 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 blah. Build some rapport, whatever. Now, either the client or you is going to stop the rapport. Okay. If the client is tired of hearing you talk, they're going to say, okay, well, listen, Don, what is this all about anyway? You know, and then they're going to start the rapport. I say, okay, well, listen, Don, do you remember here? And I pull the card out. You filled out this card here just a little while ago about the final expense benefits. Let me ask you a question. Was this for you or was this for somebody else in the family? Right? So that's going to get you out of rapport. Now, if you're building rapport and I'm going to get out of rapport, then I'm going to stop the rapport and say, okay, Don, well, anyway, what I'm here for is you filled out a card here recently about the final expense insurance. This is the one right here. Okay, do you remember filling that out? I want to get their approval that they filled this out, because if I don't, and they say to me, no, I never filled anything out. When I get to the end of the close and I just, they'll say, oh, well, just tell me what you got anyway. I get to the end of the close and I say, which one of these is going to help your family out the best? That person's going to say, whoa, wait a minute. I wasn't buying anything today. I told you, I don't remember filling this out. Who are you again? What company is this? So get their approval right there that they remember filling this out. That's one of the most important things. So I say, now, Dawn, do you remember filling this out here? This is your handwriting, right? Yes. Okay, great. Well, let me ask you, Dawn, when you had filled this out, was this for you or for somebody else in the family you were looking to apply for? As soon as they say this was for me, then they're agreeing that I'm here to talk about insurance with them, that they're understanding that I'm here for final expense life insurance. They remember filling out the card, and now I can move forward with my presentation. Okay. Then the next step is to verify the information that I already do have. You wrote down here, Dawn, you're 65. Is that still correct? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. All right. So then you move on. Is your address correct? Obviously, I made it here. And is this the best number to contact you at? Yes. All right, perfect. And what I'm going to do today, Dawn, is I'm going to try to get you some discounts today. Okay, you like discounts, don't you? Yes. Okay, great. So that's kind of my flow. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down these bullet points for you first, and then we'll go through and we'll actually do it as a role play. All right. So now that's where we're at. So we're going to do this first portion right now. Okay. So if I'm not, knocking on the door, I come in the house, I'm sitting down, building some rapport. First thing I'm going to do is sit down with you, Dawn, and say, Dawn, so I see you're a pretty busy guy, man. I've been trying to get a hold of you here all week. What are you doing here? You running around? I see you got like 3 cars out here in the driveway and 1 in the garage working on. Do you work on cars for a living or what?
Yeah, it's a hobby.
Okay, got a hobby. You like working on cars. What do you got in the garage, or what kind of car is that?
I got a 65 Mustang.
65 Mustang. Wow.
Yeah.
What color is it?
It's red.
Red. All right, good deal. Listen, I'm a Mustang lover myself, Don. I got a 1996 Mystic Cobra Mustang. It changes like 10 different colors in the sun. It's an awesome car. It's real rare. I was never a Mustang owner, Actually, I like Chevys, to be honest. My first car was a Chevy Z28. I rebuilt the thing from the time I was 16 years old till I was 20. And then I ended up selling it to one of my buddies after I rebuilt it and bought a Mustang. So, well, mine's really not a Mustang. It has a snake emblem on it. So I try to still say I'm not a Ford guy. It's a whole different species. It's a serpent instead of being a Mustang. So that's how I get away with my friends that are still Chevy fans. So how long have you been working on cars? You've been working on cars a long time?
Yeah, my entire adult life. Got interested when I was in school, and yeah, I just find it really relaxing.
Okay. What motor did you put in there? Is that 302, 351? What'd you put in?
I put in a 351. Yep. Quad.
Okay. Okay. Awesome, man. That's a good motor. So you're originally from this area then? You're from Pennsylvania?
I am. Yeah, yes.
Okay. So a lot of family here or what? You got a lot of uncles, cousins, aunts, kids, any kids?
Yeah, got kids, got some grandkids. We're all Eagles fans too, of course.
Oh man, well listen, I can't say I'm an Eagles fan. I'm from Altoona, so I'm kind of in the middle. But everybody up this way, once you get like across the Harrisburg line, everyone seems to be Steeler fans.
Yeah, well, we're not Stiller fans here. I can assure you of that.
That is true. It is Stillers. And it all depends on where you come from. And we say yins up here instead of you. So I get it. But anyway, Dawn, listen, what I'm here for is you filled out this card here a little while ago. You filled out the card for the final expense insurance. This is the card here that you actually filled out. Okay. Now, let me ask you, when you filled this out and sent it in, were you looking for you or was this for somebody else you want to apply for?
Honestly, I don't remember filling it out, but it was probably for me.
Okay. Was this your handwriting, Dawn?
Yeah. It is,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, listen, this was a few weeks ago, man. I apologize. I don't remember what I did yesterday, let alone a couple weeks ago. I'm sorry it took me so long to get here. It's taken me a little while. We have so many people responded to our program, and quite frankly, we just don't have enough employees to get out there to help everybody. So that's probably why you don't remember. But anyway, I have the card right here. I just need to verify some of this information you put down. Now, Dawn, you put down here you're 65. Is that still correct?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. All right. And obviously your address and everything's correct. And is this the best number to get a hold of you? Like I told you before, I tried to get a hold of you on this number and I wasn't able to get a hold of you. Is this the best one here?
It is. Yeah. I probably didn't recognize the number. We don't pick them up if we don't recognize them.
Okay. Do you have any other cell phone number or anything that would help me out in case I need to get a hold of you?
Yeah, that is my cell phone number.
Okay, that's the one. All right, perfect. Well, listen, Dawn, what I'm going to do today, since you're looking for coverage for you, I'm going to try to get you some discounts today. You like discounts, don't you?
I love discounts.
All right, perfect. Well, let me see what I can do here for you. But because this is based on your health and your age, you're 65. What I'm going to do for the discount is, are you a smoker or non-smoker?
Yeah, I'm a non-smoker.
All right, so let's stop right there. Let's analyze what we did, right? We built rapport. We remind him about the TV commercial. Even if he don't remember, I got to jog his memory until he does remember it. All right. I get that approval, and then I move on. This is for him. And then when I verify the info, I want to try to get as much updated information as possible in case, I need to give this guy a call back or whatever. And when I tell them, listen, I'm going to try to get you some discounts today. You like discounts, don't you? As soon as they say, oh, yeah, I love discounts, I'm implying that I'm here to sell you a damn policy. Okay. But I'm going to save you some money. Right? I'm here to sell you a policy, but I'm going to save you some money. And you're in agreement that I'm here to sell you a policy and you like to save money. So I'm closing the sale down straight from the gate. I'm assuming the sale right from the beginning. All right. So I say now, Dawn, because life insurance is based on your age and health, you're 65 right now. Let me ask you a couple questions here to see what we can help you with. Are you a smoker or non-smoker?
Non-smoker.
Non-smoker. Okay, good. Congratulations. Looks like you qualify for our first discount. The next one now, Dawn, is based on your health. How's your health been? You look like a pretty healthy young man. How's your health been over the past, let's say, 5 years?
It's really good.
Good? Okay. Any major illnesses at all, man? I mean, like any heart attacks, strokes, seizures, any type of cancer, diabetes?
No heart attack, but I had a blockage a year ago and had to have a stent put in, but no heart attack and no issues.
Okay, and this was what, about a year ago?
Yeah, about a year ago.
Okay. So, guys, at this point, I'm going to circle heart, and I'm going to write 1 year above it. Okay. Now I'm just kind of going down through. Okay, so not a problem, man. Listen, we specialize in members with heart attacks. Sorry if you guys see me grabbing stuff. I got these things floating like in my way, like dust, and it's driving me crazy. So, I'm going to write this down and I'm going to ask you, listen, man, no problem. We specialize in members of heart conditions. We actually have special programs for that. Well, let me ask you a few more. Any type of COPD or when you had the heart problem, did you have any congestive heart failure or was it just a blockage?
Just a blockage.
Okay. How about any kidney or liver problems?
No,
All right. Any hepatitis C, anything like that?
no.
All right. Any type of bipolar, anxiety, or depression disorders?
Nope. Except
All
when
right.
I'm doing role play in a sales environment.
I gotcha. All right, man. Sounds good. Any oxygen usage?
No.
All right. Pretty healthy young man. So just a heart problem 1 year ago, and you just had a stent put in.
Yeah, it wasn't even a problem. It was a blockage that was diagnosed and corrected.
Okay. Are you on any medications right now for that? Like any type
Yes.
of Plavix or any type of blood thinners?
Yes.
Okay. What are you taking now?
Plavix.
Plavix. Okay. All right. So here's where I'm gonna write Plavix down on the lines, right? All right. So you're on Plavix. Let me ask you. So you seem pretty healthy. You had a heart problem, a year ago. Got that taken care of. Any other medications you're on right now, Dawn, on a regular basis?
Yeah, blood pressure and cholesterol.
Okay. That's it though.
Yep.
All right. Perfect, man. Sounds good. So now I don't need any of your personal information for this next discount. Okay. Home office just asks if you use one of the following, and I don't care which one. Do you use any type of checking, savings, federal credit unions, or anything like that, or any type of direct express cards?
All of those things. Yes.
Okay, so you have a checking, savings, and a federal credit. You use them all.
Yeah, I have a bank. I have a bank debit card, not a federal
Okay.
credit union. Okay.
All right, perfect. But the debit card, it's not like a direct express. It's actually one through like First Commonwealth, like my bank.
Right. Yes.
Okay.
Well,
All right, perfect. I'll just check that off here. No big deal, right? Next, Dawn, since this is for your final expenses, have you thought if you want to be buried or cremated?
yes. Cremated.
Cremated. All right, perfect. Mark that down. And because you obviously, right now, the reason why we're talking today, and I'd imagine why you send in the flyers, because the biggest cost right now is the inflation keeps going up on the funeral services, cremation services, pretty much on urns and everything else, right? Now, do you have any type of insurance right now going towards your cremation or towards your funeral?
No.
No. Okay. Well, that's probably why you sent the card in, right?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Well, don't worry, Dawn. We'll get that taken care of today for you. All right. But let me do this. Do you know the difference between the different types of insurance, Dawn? Do you know like the difference between whole life and term?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah.
Okay. Well, here's what I'm going to do, guys. I'm gonna break this down for you. A lot of the ones that you're going to see, there's a lot of life insurance companies out there, a lot of different types of insurance, and it gets kind of confusing. That's why they send someone like me out here. Dawn, listen, I'm not a sales guy. Okay. You can see I don't come in here, with a tie on and a three-piece suit, right? I'm more here to help you understand these benefits. So you can make the right decisions for you and your family. Okay. But I'm going to break this down to the two main types that you're going to see at your age. Dawn, at 65, you're going to see a lot of benefits coming in your mailbox every day and see on TV. Companies like AARP, Globe Life, and Colonial Penn. I'm sure you've heard of those.
Yep. Sure.
Okay. Listen, they're all good companies, Dawn. Alex Trebek's a hell of a guy. But listen, these companies sell a product which is called term. Have you ever heard of term insurance?
Yeah, I've heard of it. I'm not sure I understand it.
Okay. Term is basically for the short term or for temporary. All right. Term usually comes in 5, 10, or 20-year terms. But at your age, Dawn, most of the ones you're going to see is 5-year terms. And I circle 5. Okay. Now, how this works is you go and call AARP or Globe Life. You get a policy right now at 65, Dawn. Now, I'd imagine, Dawn, you're on a fixed income, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay. So here's what's going to happen. You buy a policy at 65. Every 5 years, it's like a step ladder. And I draw this up there, right? And I take a money symbol and I write on the first step, one money symbol at one level. And I say, now every 5 years, Dawn, that money symbol is going to keep going up and up and up. And by the time I get to 80, I draw a money symbol about this damn big on the page. Okay. And guess what happens, Dawn, when you turn 80?
It goes away.
It cancels. You're exactly right. And I put an X through the 80 and I put a 0 underneath it. And I say, now, Dawn, all this money you just put in is now gone. And now you're 80 years old, left with no life insurance. And now your family has to figure out how to bury you. And I'd imagine you don't want to leave your family without money, right? You want to make sure that they're secure and taken care of, that they don't have to try to figure out how to take care of you at the end of your life.
Yep. Yes.
Okay. Well, that's exactly what we do here. Okay, we do what's called whole life insurance. Now, Dawn, whole life over here on the left-hand side is exactly what it stands for. It's going to be there your entire life. So I put one money symbol, small, right above whole life. And I say the best part about whole life, Dawn, is it never increases in price. So whatever you pay for it at 65, I draw a line straight across from the whole life over to 100. I put a money symbol the same size as the one I did on the left. Your price will be the same whether you're 65 or 100. And I'd imagine being on a fixed income, Dawn, that's something you're looking for, right? You're looking for something that's permanent, something that's never going to go up in price, and something that's going to be there for your son and daughter when you pass away. Isn't that right?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, listen, that's exactly what we do. Okay, we do whole life insurance. The best thing about our policies here, Dawn, now I'm moving down now into what we do as a company. Our company pays out our policies, Dawn, 24 hours. Okay, if you got a day one policy, you're paid out within 24 hours of receiving the death certificate. The price never increases, and it's never going to cancel due to your age or health changing. So, guys, here's what I just did. Now, I educated them on the different types. Now, remember back when I asked you if you already had any insurance and you said you had zero? Even if you said you had 5,000, I don't even care who it's with at that time, because I'm going to extract that out of you when we get to this point. Because if I say, now these are temporary policies, these are the short-term ones. These are the ones that go up in price every 5 years and cancel when you're 80. AARP, Globe Life, and Colonial Penn. If you have 5,000 with AARP, Dawn, what are you going to do at that point?
What, as a sales guy, you mean, or as a prospect?
No, you're the customer. If I just
Okay.
showed you how AARP goes up in price, and I didn't ask you earlier, you're going to be like, wait a minute. So this one
Yeah.
cancels, like AARP cancels when you're 80 and it goes up? Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like thinking in their head. They may not tell you right there at that moment, but in their brain, they're going, oh, wait a minute. I think that's what I have. So if they do ask you, then they're going to say, well, that's what I have. So you're telling me that the one I have is no good? Well, you know what? I'm not sure yet, Dawn, but we'll get to that here in a little bit, okay? And I'll help you make sure that what you do have will be in place. So now I know in my head that they have AARP, okay? Or they have some type of short-term policy. Now, by educating them, I do two things. Number one, I get rid of all my I want to think about it rebuttals by the end of my presentation. My whole presentation is proactive, okay? So when I go over AARP, Globe Life, Colonial Penn, wouldn't you agree that they're all my main competitors that are spending hundreds and hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars in advertising on TV and in mail every day of their life? By the time they get a piece of mail in the mailbox, by the time they're going to watching Guiding Light on TV, they're getting a commercial for Colonial Penn. The next commercial after that will be AARP. And the next time the mailman delivers, it'll be Globe Life, sending a penny now for 50,000 of insurance. Okay. They're getting flooded with this. So I get rid of all my I want to think about it by the end, because I just beat up nicely all my competitors throughout my process. Now I get rid of my I want to think about it, but I also help my persistency, because now that they're educated, when they go over to their cousin Sally's house this weekend for a cookout, cousin Sally's not going to tell them they're stupid and bought the wrong policy because they get 20,000 for less than what they're paying for 10. You see what I mean? So they're not going to be pissed off at you and think you screwed them over. All right. So you're going to help your sale, get rid of your I want to think about it. And you made them tell you, yes, this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for whole life insurance. Okay. So that's what the education does. I do this at every presentation, no matter what. Okay. Next, the 24-hour payout. I'm telling them what we do as a company. If I already know from their medical that more than likely they're going to be day one coverage, then, you know, I can tell them about 24-hour payout. Like this situation, 65-year-old, he had a heart attack in the past year. And he's going to be modified. So I say, instead of saying we have guaranteed 24 payout, here's what I flip it to. I say, Dawn, remember I said we specialize in members that have heart problems? As you probably know, looking around for your insurance, you probably called a few companies, and as soon as you tell them you had a heart attack this year and had a stent put in, what do they tell you?
We can't cover you.
We can't cover you, right? But I'm here to tell you, congratulations, we have a policy that are going to be able to help you. Okay, Dawn, so I don't want you to worry about that. Now, we have special programs, okay, that I'm going to go over with you here in a little bit. But the best part about our programs is our whole life. The price is never going to increase. You're going to lock your price in today at 65 years old, and you're never going to have to worry about this policy canceling. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yep.
All right, so you see how I flip it? because I know that they're going to be modified. So I'm setting them up for the conversation here in a minute that I'm going to have with them, that this policy is going to be a 2-year return of premium. Okay. I'm setting them up for the next thing. Now, the next question I have, this is my transition. Transitions are very important. This gets me out of explaining about education into talking about our final wish planner and getting into legacy. So my next question is going to be now, well, let me ask you a question, Don. Do you have your will set up yet?
No.
Okay. 98% of people are going to say no to this. I know that. That's why I set this question up. So do you have your will set up? No. Okay. Well, listen, Don, no worries. We know most of our members, 98% of the people I sit down with don't have this done. And if they do have some of it done, they don't have it completed. Okay. But here's what we have. We have a final wish planner. Okay. And this isn't the final wish planner, but I'm just going to use this as an example. We have a final wish planner, Don. And what this final wish planner is going to do is get you organized. You're going to be able to put all your personal information in here. Your full name, middle name, birth date, social security number. Do you have a bank account? If so, where? This is going to help all your family members that die have everything in one nice, neat, organized place. Where do you want to be cremated? Do you want to be buried or cremated? Do you want your glasses on or off? Do you want to be viewed or not? You know, do you want to have a military funeral or do you not want one? Everything you want to put down in this booklet here is going to help your family at the worst day of their life not have to argue and say, well, this is the way dad would have wanted it. And now you got brother and sister fighting. No, I'm burying dad. No, I'm doing a cremation. No, this is the way we're doing it. We're having the party over here. Everybody's going to argue at that time. This brochure right here, you can, when your policy comes in the mail, Dawn, you're going to get your policy. And then I'm going to give you this here when I leave. And you're going to take this and you're going to put this with your policy and let your kids know where it's at. Does that make sense?
Yes, sure does.
All right. So what did I just do there? I assumed that they're buying what? A policy. And I'm assuming that I'm telling you when your policy comes in the mail, you're going to take this visually and you're going to put it with your policy and you're going to let your kids know where this is at. Does that make sense, Dawn? So
Sure does.
now I'm showing them you're buying a policy, and when it comes in the mail, you're going to put this with it. You're going to put it in a file cabinet. You're going to tell your kids where it's at. So I'm being authoritative here, and I'm telling them the direction that this is going to go. Okay? You guys all see how that will work?
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Now I go over the final wish planner. Now that it's done, I say, now, Dawn, now that you have everything organized and now your family knows what's going to happen, wait till you hear what's next, right? We have a company that we work with called Legacy, okay? And Legacy is actually a discount funeral merchandise company. But on top of that, Dawn, have you ever planned a funeral before?
Yes, unfortunately. Yes.
Okay. If somebody dies today, how many days is it until their funeral typically?
Could you repeat that? How many days? What does it?
If somebody died today, how many days is it until the funeral?
Probably about a week.
About a week, sometimes 2 or 3 days, depending on the area. All right.
Yeah.
And they always say, you know, sometimes, you know, planning a funeral, Dawn, they say it's kind of like planning a wedding. You know, most people take what, about a year or so to plan a wedding? Who's coming?
Yeah.
What are we wearing? What's for dinner? You know, you still have to figure this all out, but now you have less than a week to figure that out. That can be stressful. Okay. And worse yet, most people have never planned a funeral, so they don't know how much it should cost. You know how much the average cost right now of a funeral is today?
No idea.
Okay. So most of our members don't know either. And they get taken advantage of, Dawn, when they go to the funeral home. Because if you have a $10,000 policy and your son walks in and says, hey, dad passed away, and the funeral director says what? Does he have any insurance? And your son's going to tell him what? Yes, dad has 10,000. How much do you think that funeral is going to be, Dawn?
10,000.
At least. If not, they're going to have to put more money on top of it. That funeral director is going to spend all that insurance money and make sure it comes into the house. Okay? That's his job. That's his business. Here's what we're going to do. We don't want your son getting taken advantage of on the worst day of his life. Because they always say in this business here, Dawn, when the more you cry, the more you buy. They just want it taken care of. Dad has 10,000. Let's just get it taken care of. Okay? But we have a wish team. And in our wish team with Legacy, the wish team is going to call up the 3 funeral homes of your son's choice. The wish team is going to do all the work for your son and negotiate the pricing for your family. They're going to pin each funeral home against each other to help drive the cost down. So more of that money, Dawn, goes back to your family, the ones that need it the most. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yep.
Now, once they pick a plan, now imagine this, Dawn. How much you think, you know, what's the most important part of the funeral process? What's the most expensive? The casket, the vault, and the headstone. Okay. Now I know you want to be cremated. Okay, but there's still going to be costs there. Now, let me ask you a question, Dawn. Since you want to be cremated, my mother was cremated, but my mother didn't want a viewing, but she did want a funeral service at the funeral. She wanted a funeral service, and she still wanted the urn buried with a headstone. Are you planning on doing that, or are you planning on just being put up on a mantle somewhere, or what do you got going on here?
No, in the Catholic faith, you have to be, the ashes have to be buried.
Right, that's exactly what. So my mother was Catholic. She didn't. Here's what happened to me. Okay, my grandmother wanted to do a burial because they're Catholic, and my mother didn't want buried. She was claustrophobic, and she said she didn't want bugs crawling on her. All right. She told me when I was young, when she first got diagnosed with cancer, this is a true story, that when she passes away, the only thing she wants to make sure is nobody buries her in the ground because she does not want bugs crawling on her. She does not want to be locked up in a coffin. And if we do, she will come back and haunt me. Okay.
Yeah.
So now when we're at the funeral, we're at the hospital. I mean, my grandmother said we need to do a burial, and I'm saying no, we're doing cremation. But I'm broke. I'm 20 years old. My mother just died, and I have $30 in my bank account. Grandma's taking care of the insurance because my mom didn't have any insurance. Because back then, Dawn, I don't know about you if you remember. Remember when the guy used to come pick up the money at the house?
Yeah, debit guy. Yep.
So my mother used to have the guy come and pick up her payment every month. And guess what happened? When she got diagnosed with cancer, she had to go down to Hershey Medical Center to get chemo. And when she was down there fighting for her life, getting surgery, the guy came to pick up the payment and she wasn't home. Guess what happened to her policy?
Lapsed.
It canceled. And when she came back, Dawn, she already had cancer and nobody would give her a policy. And because she was marked terminally ill and they only gave her 6 months to live, she could never buy life insurance from anybody.
Wow.
So the best time to buy your insurance, Dawn, is when you're the youngest and healthiest, because then you never have to worry about that happening to you. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay. So, for her, she did end up living 12 years longer, even being terminally ill. But the problem was, Dawn, is when she passed away, she didn't have any insurance. So now I'm 20 years old, just had a 6-month-old baby and no money in the bank, and grandma wants to bury her. You see how that could be a problem?
Yes.
So with legacy, and having no final wish planner, that's going to eliminate all that. By legacy, call and negotiate the pricing, Dawn. They're going to call and negotiate the funeral, the services, how much it is for opening and closing to dig. Okay. But the biggest cost is going to be in there. So we're going to help drive that cost down. Now, Dawn, if you ever do choose to want to be buried, we're going to give you and your family, anybody in the home, discounts on the funeral merchandise. You said you had to bury somebody before, Dawn. What do you think the average casket costs these days?
$3,000.
You're exactly right. Anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 on average, depending on where you're at. Now, what if I told you, Dawn, with inflation, do you think caskets cost $3,000 to $5,000 back in 1950?
No.
Hell no. That was a Cadillac back then. You could have bought a nice pink Cadillac for $5,000, right?
Yeah.
Now you're getting a pine box. Okay. Now here's the thing, Dawn. If you could have gone back there back in 1950 and secured your casket for $500 and locked it in forever, would you have done it?
Yeah, sure.
Well, imagine today, because Legacy is a funeral discount company, you're able to get the same casket that the funeral home gets at the same price they get it for at wholesale. So for that same casket, Dawn, that you just said was going to be $3,000 to $5,000 is only $1,500, no matter what color you pick, out of 250 different options from now until the day you die. So if you die when you're 85, 35, years from now, your family's never going to spend more than $1,500 on the casket. We can get you a casket for $1,500. Now, even though you're going to be cremated, Dawn, we can get urns for $99 locked in, inflation proof. $99 for an urn. Free overnight shipping for the urn. And we're going to negotiate the cost at the funeral. And we're going to be able to get you a headstone for $500, $1,200, depending on what style, with free engraving and free shipping. Okay. Pretty amazing, right?
Yeah.
Now that's all in one package, Dawn. This is what separates us from anybody else out there. We're going to add a whole lot of value to your policy. Okay. But here's what I'm going to do, Dawn. Obviously, you need the coverage. You can see how this is going to help your family, right?
Yes. Yeah.
All right. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and build a couple packages here, and then you can tell me which one's going to help you out the best. Okay.
Okay. Yep.
All right. Perfect. Dawn, here's what I got here for you, buddy. I got a couple different packages here. Now, it doesn't matter to which one you go with, because either one of these are going to take care of your cremation. Okay. I got a gold plan, a silver plan, and a bronze plan. Okay. Now the gold one, this one's going to take care of your cremation, plus leave a little bit of leftover money in case you have any extra bills or anything. You don't leave that over to your son or daughter. All right. So the first one here is going to be 6,000 in coverage, Dawn. That one there at your age here is going to be $70 a month. That's going to cover 6,000 to take care of your cremation. That's going to cover 6,000 in accidental. So if you die accidentally, it's going to pay out double. It's going to pay out 12 grand, and it's going to include the legacy, all in one package. Okay, for the $71. Now the next one, this is one of our more popular ones. It's the silver program. Now this one here is going to cover 5,000, and this one here is going to be $60 a month on. It's going to cover, 5,000 natural, 5,000 accidental, and still include legacy, and it's only $60 a month. Now, the bronze program, this is our entry level. It's $45 a month. It's going to be $3,500 in coverage, and it's going to cover your cremation, but not leave a lot more behind. Still going to cover the legacy, and it's still going to give you accidental coverage, and it's only $45. Now, Dawn, you know better than I do what's going to help your family out the best. Out of these three right here, Dawn, which one's going to help you out the best in you and your family?
Probably the silver would be okay.
Silver plan? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, the best thing about this plan, Dawn, is since it's whole life coverage, you're locked in, and I'm going to be your agent forever. So if you ever need to increase this down the road, you'll be locked in. Okay?
Okay, good.
All right, perfect. Now, Dawn, since this is for your final expenses, who would be the main beneficiary, your son or your daughter?
My son, he's the oldest.
Okay. And how do you spell his name?
It's also Don.
Dawn. Okay. All right, perfect. And the secondary, your daughter, how do you spell her name?
Amy, A-M-Y.
All right, perfect. Got it. All right. And your name, Dawn, is it Dawn or Donald?
Donald.
Donald. Okay. And your middle initial?
J.
J. And Ritaco, is that R-I-T-T-A-C-O?
No, 1 T, 2 C's.
1 T, 2 C's. Okay, perfect. And the address for the policy to be mailed to, address you have put on your card here?
Yes, correct.
All right, perfect.
Correct. Yeah.
All right, and you said the cell phone number is the best way to reach you earlier.
It is, yes.
Okay, perfect. All right, Dawn, perfect. And then I just go through the app. Now is when I'm in the Slice app. You see what I'm saying? Now I'm going through and I'm putting in all their information. Okay? Now, that's pretty much the whole deal. Pretty simple, right? Now, that's a real role play. How long was that?
About 10 minutes.
10 minutes, right? Now, is it going to be a little bit longer because, we're in there talking and different things? Yes. But for the most part, that is the presentation. So what are some of your questions? Anybody that's on here, what are some questions you have or anything like that?
So Shane, this survey, quote unquote survey form, I've forgotten what you called it. I'm calling it a survey form.
I just call it a worksheet.
Worksheet. Okay. I haven't seen that before. Is that something that's available through the portal, or is it something that you can send us and we can print?
Yeah, this is something that I made. This is my presentation, not Senior Life's. So
yeah, I like it.
I've been doing this presentation now, Dawn, because here's what happened. I've been in all different companies. I've been where I've done the qualifications at the end of the presentation, the beginning, the middle. I got tired of getting my ass kicked, and I'm sorry for swearing as much. Sometimes it comes out. So guys, I apologize. Okay. I got tired of coming home every day and being like, why did I miss this? Why didn't I get this sale? And I realized that every other presentation was reactive, rebuttal, jam it down their throat, rebuttal. So I wanted to build a presentation that was easy to train. The worksheet, I wanted to be able to put my order down, because what I realized was going out in the field with agents, the reason that they couldn't close was because they never did a presentation the same in no house. Every presentation was different. The order was different. They forgot to talk about legacy in one they didn't ask about the checking, one they forgot to qualify them in the beginning and they waited till the end. Then they already quoted them, super preferred. I mean, the order I figured out over time was just, I developed one by getting tore up in the field. I come home every day and say, how can I overcome that? Why do I keep getting, I want to think about it at the end? Well, because they want to think about it and go over AARP and Colonial Penn before they make a decision with me. So I need to beat that. So I organized the bullet points to basically walk these people through the pasture to get a check. And everything that I say, assuming the sale the whole time, Dawn, is this what you want to do? You want a whole life? Something's going to be there for your family? Yes. I keep getting you to say yes. So the worksheet is in the same order as the bullet points. So as a brand new agent, the reason why I don't need to go in the field with you, Don, because you guys have experience in the field. You don't need to be a rocket scientist to take this worksheet in, write it and fill it out and do the presentation. It'll keep you in order. So I've developed the worksheet to go along with the bullet points. So, but yes, to answer your question, I will send it out to you. I'll be sending you out a link to a Dropbox file that I'll be able to put files in as you guys need them. If you wanted the bullet points to take them in the house with you, kind of just as a brand new agent, if you want to put it behind your lead and kind of, okay, what am I supposed to be saying here? Oh yeah, 24-hour payout. You can kind of work your way through the presentation. But that's the presentation. That's as simple as it is. What other questions you guys got?
So after that is when you open the Slice app and go through the app?
Yeah, once I get through that and I say, okay, Dawn, now since this is for your final expenses, who's your beneficiary going to be? And then here's what I do. And now I'm back here to the app and I'm back here to the sign-in screen and I'm signing in. Okay. Now, when we get into the Slice app, I'm going to show you a couple things here, but I'm just giving you a vague overview. So when you go in here and you can see the blue application tab.
Yep.
As soon as I say who's your beneficiary, I just click application and I start taking their intake information. Okay. So the Slice app was actually designed to kind of do what we just did in the app, but it's not in the right order for me because somebody in IT developed it, not a sales agent. You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
Great program, great idea, but the flow's off. You see what I'm saying? The flow's off. And I'll show you that once we get into the Slice app. It's just not the way that I would do it. So I can't do something that I know I wouldn't do proactively just because the app is set up that way. So I just do my own order and then I just use the app for what it is, and that's to punch in the application information. Okay. So, but who else had a question? Is somebody else I heard chime in?
Yeah, I got something. Do you or any of your agents that you have who uses this bullet point like way of presenting, do you guys ever still get that? I want to think about it.
Oh yeah, 100%. You're still going to get it. You're never going to
And
avoid it.
how do you overcome that?
The rebuttal is a good question. So most of the time, remember, what is it they're really thinking about? Does anybody know?
The cost of the package.
The
They
cost,
don't
right?
want to make a commitment, really.
Yeah, a lot of people either don't want to make a commitment today. I don't make any decisions today. I need to pray on it. I got to talk to my car mechanic because he usually gives me advice on my financial decision. I mean, they're going to come up with 400,000 reasons why they don't want to say today, right? But here's what I know. Here's what I know. They're 65 years old and they still have no life insurance. Why? Because they can't make a damn decision. You see what I'm saying? They can't make a decision. They've been trying to make a decision now for 65 years. They don't have life insurance. Okay, and here's what I can relate it to. My fiance, if I drove up and down the boulevard to go eat tonight and I asked her what she was hungry for, you know what she would tell me? I don't care.
I don't know.
Nothing, or whatever. All right. All right, let's go to Long John Silver's. Oh, not Long John's. I hate Long John Silver's. Okay, well, what would you like to eat? I don't care, just not Long John Silver's. Okay. All right, we're gonna go to the Chinese buffet. Oh, we had Chinese last week. I don't want to eat that again. It made my stomach sick. Okay. All right. Well, what would you like to eat, honey? I don't care. Just not Chinese and Long John Silver's. Okay. Do you understand that if I kept asking the same question, do you understand I would starve to death by the end of the night because I would never get anywhere? So at some point, I just make a left into Red Lobster and just say we're eating lobster. That's it. And she'll say, oh, okay, I'm not really hungry for lobster, but I'll find something. Good. Okay, good. See, an indecisive person, she's indecisive. Now I could ask her that about anything. You know what I'm saying? Anything in the world I could ask her and she's going to tell me the same thing. If I said, how does this look? Well, I don't know. All right. I just have to just go with it. So what I'm trying to say is sometimes you got to be the authority figure and you got to kind of tell people what to do. Okay. So when they make excuses is because they're making an excuse to buy. So here's what I usually do. there's a whole bunch of rebuttals that you can use, okay, that you could have paragraphs of rebuttals. But I found out a rebuttal that I didn't know was a rebuttal, but one of my new agents in the field. So there's all kind of rebuttals. You say, well, let me ask you this, and let me ask you, what are you thinking about? And you could go over all these different things. I deleted every single rebuttal out, and here's the one I use now. I call it the this is what we're going to do rebuttal. Okay? Sounds crazy, but that's what it's called. And here's how we developed it. I didn't know I was doing this in a home, but I was going into the house with agents, okay? And I was going into the home with the agent, and I'd let them do the whole presentation until the end. Has anybody ever trained agents before here?
Yes.
You know how hard it is to be a professional sales agent and wait for a brand new agent to get through the presentation after they're not doing it the way you do it, but you're trying to
Yes.
just shut up long enough for them to get through it so you can then teach them
Yes.
later how to. Hardest thing in the world to do. Sometimes I got to go out in the car and sit because I can't do it, okay? Because I can't shut up long enough, okay? But I do, and I go through the end, and I let them rebuttal them until they did it. I don't make decisions today, blah, blah, blah. And then the agent goes, what do I do here? So I would come in then and save the deal. Well, how I would come in and save it would be, I would kind of come in and say, okay, listen, Dawn, let me ask you a question, right? You don't have any insurance right now, right? And you need this coverage because you just said you didn't want to. The reason why I'm here is because you said you didn't want to leave your daughter and your son left with the burden. Isn't that why I'm here?
Yes.
Okay. So right now, right now you have no coverage, and right now, Dawn, if you passed away, you're gonna be leaving your family with nothing. But let me ask you a better question, okay? Out of these three, which one did you like the best?
The gold option.
The gold option, the one here
Yeah.
for the $71 for the full 6,000.
Yeah. I
Okay.
don't know if it's affordable though.
Okay. Well, let me ask you a question. Which one looks the most affordable to you right now? If you had to just pick one, which one would it be?
I think I could handle the silver.
The silver for the $60?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Dawn, here's what we're going to do, right? We're going to start you out, not even with the silver program for now. Let's at least get you started. If let's say you do say the silver, I could say, okay, let's start you out with the silver program. Okay. It's only $60 a month. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to get you the $60 plan. We'll get you the 5,000 in place. I know you want the gold, but the best part about today is, remember, you need to lock in your coverage today. Okay. You need to lock in your age and your health. So that way you don't have to worry about what happened to my mom, right? And have to wait and not be able to get covered. So you need to get covered today. When's the best time to buy it? What I say earlier, today, when you're the youngest and healthiest you're ever going to be. So let's lock in the 5,000 today. And then 4 or 5 months down the road, I'll come back over and we'll add on that extra 1,000 to get you gold program. Okay. But now, because this is for your final expenses, you said you want your son or your daughter to be the beneficiary on this.
Can I put both?
Yeah, you can put both down. It's not a problem. That's how I come over it. Now,
Yeah.
let's say they say none of these. Right now, honestly, Shane, I don't have any money. I barely have enough food. I hardly have any money left over at the end of the month, but I'm on a fixed income. And I say, okay, well, let me ask you then. You know your budget better than I do. Okay, so you're saying right now, you can't even afford this $45 one, just enough to take care of business. Not right now. I can't. Okay, well, let me ask you, out of your budget, even though $45 is out of your budget, how much of that 45 do you know every month you can put towards your life insurance right now out of your $45? 25?
Sure.
Okay, let me see what we can do here. I go back into my Slice app and I go in, I pull up the custom option for the fourth request. I pull up
Okay.
$30 programs, okay? And it's 2,500 in coverage. I pull it up, I come back and I say, okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start you off with a $2,500 package, our entry level package. Still comes with $2,500 in coverage, comes with 2,500 accidental, and the best part is it still comes with the legacy that you like so much, okay? And the best part is it's only $29.83. A lot better, right?
Well, that's not
Okay.
$25, but
Well, you know what? It's a lot better than 45. And here's the thing. If right now $29 is hard for you to come up with, Imagine how hard it's going to be for your son and daughter to come up with it, 5,000 to take care of it. Okay. Don, this isn't another bill. This is an investment in your family's future. Okay. Coming up with $29 right now a month, I know could be a stretch, but just remember why you're doing it. You're doing this to help your family. You told me you wanted to make sure that you didn't leave your son and daughter with this burden. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
Okay. And I wouldn't be able to sleep at night knowing that you have no coverage right now and you potentially could do that. All right. So if you were my grandfather or you were my dad, I'd want you to have this coverage, even if it was small, because I know that at least I could get you properly taken care of and I wouldn't have to worry about the burden or take a loan out. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll start you here at the 25. And then if you ever need to increase it, I'm going to be your agent for life. All right. 4 or 5 months from now, we come back, I can increase the coverage for you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does.
Okay, listen, Don, congratulations, get this done. And because this is for your final expenses, you said you wanted your son down as the beneficiary, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, how do you spell his first name? That is how I beat every rebuttal. I want to think about it, I can't afford it, I need to talk to my financial advisor. It's all pretty much mumbo jumbo to me. They're telling you the same thing. I don't want to make a commitment today. That's what they're trying to tell you.
Okay.
Or maybe it is really I can't afford it, but that's how I dig it out. I got rid of all my other rebuttals and I just used that one. Because when you take authority, listen, when you go to the doctor's office, do they come and ask you what you want to do? Well, you have high blood pressure. I mean, you could do the high blood pressure medicine, or you can start eating vegetables, or you can start running. I mean, what would you like to do? They don't do that. They come in here and say, here's the problem, here's the solution. You go to your car mechanic. He comes out and says, your brakes are falling off. I can't believe you made it here. Here's how much it is to get the brakes done, and I wouldn't drive this car 5 more feet. And by the way, Napa has it in stock, and they can have it done within the hour here and get you back on the road. You want the gold package of the brakes, or you want the silver brake linings? You see what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
have to be authoritative. You almost have to tell people what to do because they won't do it for themselves. And that's how I'll get sales versus the agent that will ask them what they want to do. So use that. Take the authority. Say, this is what we're going to do. And for some magical reason, here's how we figured that out. When we got out in the car, about the 8th sale we made that week, the new agent goes, hey man, can you teach me that rebuttal you do? And I'm like, what's that? He's like, the one where you say, this is what we're going to do, and then they just do it. I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. So then he like refreshed my mind on what I was saying, but here I must have just done that by habit forever, by not knowing it. And he brought it to my attention, and I'm like, that's genius. That's the rebuttal. I'm not doing any other rebuttal because he's seen that no matter how he rebutted him, he still couldn't get a check. And I come in and say, okay, this is what we're going to do. And magically they pull out their checkbook, So
Yeah.
that's what I've used ever since. I don't use any other rebuttals. That's it.
Okay.
So
And then if someone doesn't have a bank account, can they still purchase any life insurance through this company?
no, not right now.
Okay.
But they did just announce when we were at our convention that we will start accepting the Direct Express card for credit card payments. But other than that, no, they got to have a checking, savings, or some type of Federal Credit Union. And the reason being is because if not, the persistency sucks.
Yeah.
You write it up this month, it'll cancel next month for sure.
Yeah.
So what else? Anybody got any other questions?
Yeah, the Sice app, does it work on computer as well? Or is it just phones and tablets?
It is just phones and tablets, but if you have a MacBook, I was saying this a little bit earlier, if you have a MacBook, it may work on it, but it has to be iOS system.
I think iOS is only for iPhones, I want to say.
Yeah, it might be. I don't know what a Mac does. I'm not a Mac person, so I don't know if you can download this in your app store on Mac or not, and it'll work. I don't know that answer. I will find out.
Because iOS is iPhone and then Mac OS is what Macs run off.
Oh,
The
okay.
different operating systems.
This is only iOS. So iPhones, iPod, iPad,
Yeah, I can double check actually right now.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure. You guys might. I was talking about that earlier. I don't know. I don't know that answer. So, what else? Any other questions?
I don't have any more.
Okay. What else? Anybody?
So, yeah, Shane Dunn. Are you going to get into the payment stuff, or am I getting ahead of you, or?
Yep, you are getting ahead of me. That's okay. That's where we're headed to next. That's why the Slice app is going to be the next thing we get into.
Okay.
So the Slice app, I'm going to walk through, as you guys can see, a couple slides here in advance, how to get into the application, how to go through, punch in their information, what to select, where to select it. You see what I'm saying? How to pretty much go through the whole thing. Okay. That's what we're going to do, and to wrap up the rest of the day. You guys mind if we take maybe a 10-minute break real quick? I know we said about 3 o'clock, but if we could take a 10-minute break so I can get a drink and knock out my vocals here for a second to see if we can do that.